So if you think about it like this, the assignment is saying that you want to you want to select an object from your everyday life that's something that has an impact on you. Okay, so what you're doing here is you're instead of saying, okay, coffee or my coffee machine has an impact on me. And believe me, I know what you're saying. I'm a coffee junkie, so I know what you're saying. But you're saying even if you're using your Keurig machine, that's great. You're still implying that coffee and coffee machine is important to you. What I'm seeing here is that the object that you're starting to turn this into, that the Keurig is important to you, not coffee. Do you see what I'm saying? And subsequently, this is starting to look like a Keurig ad as opposed to a poster on coffee in terms of design of everyday life, coffee. So my recommendations would be this. Let's take a look at the project requirements. Your selected object must be the dominant image, which it is. Okay, your post must include an image of the object in use, which yours doesn't. If that's in use, how do we know? Shouldn't the coffee be pouring, or shouldn't somebody be doing something with this to show it in use? Right now, it's just a coffee machine just sitting there. Now, this is in use, but it's not the main object. See what I'm saying? So you need to show the main object in use. Excuse me. Then you have to show one image of the result of the use of your product. There's your cup of coffee. You got that. The result, and then you have to have two components of your selected object. So you're not really showing components. I guess these could be components, but you're showing two of the same thing. So wouldn't that be one component? I mean, could you maybe show something else? Maybe you could show, I don't know, two components of the object. Right now you're showing these other images. That's the coffee itself, and that's the scoop getting the coffee. So is that considered a component of the machine? I don't know. That's a tough one. I suppose it certainly could be, but yeah, but technically, like if you look at a lot of the other student submissions, they're actually showing like parts of the, components of the actual machine. Like if you look at, I think you have a post right under yours that is showing the components. That's the filter. So maybe you could show the filter or something just to make sure that you're adhering to the project requirements. Okay, so all right, let's talk about the design itself. Okay, you've got this horizontal orientation. Okay, I don't think you should go with horizontal because everything here has a vertical orientation. Every image here you're using is oriented vertically, so it would make sense to orient the poster vertically. The next thing I would do is in that vertical orientation, I would take that big image and I would place it really big somewhere. Put that in Photoshop. That needs some adjustments. It's too dark down here. You can't really tell what it is. So I would lighten up the details of that, place the coffee machine there. Then what I would do is I would say design in everyday life. I would compose that in a typographic composition, something very, very interesting. If we go back, I can show you something really super interesting. There's a couple of really interesting. Here's one, design in everyday life, really cool typographic composition. Design in everyday life. So you can see that design in everyday life becomes a important part of the poster itself, whereas yours is relegated to third or fourth position in hierarchy just based on the size. I would get rid of Keurig to make it less look like an ad. Okay, and then finally, how are you going to have the image? This will be bleeding. So yeah, the rest of these images will work. But I would consider making this a little bit less cluttered because right now your type, if you think about it, think about what we've been studying. Right now your type doesn't really stand much of a chance in this composition. Why? Because the images are so big in the composition, all of them. I mean, as we stressed to use a big image as your main object, but these are so big in relationship to the size of the composition that what do we go to first in a composition? The biggest, brightest things, right? So we go here, we go here, we go here, we go here. The bulkiness of this may prevent the viewer from even noticing this type. So I think type should be a more prominent part of your position, of your composition. Okay, so those would be my recommendations. And if you have any questions or other, please let me know and I'll be glad to clarify. All right, good job, David.